All right.
Check, check. Check, check.
Oh, we're good.
Action, off we go. Welcome to Here's Your Freaking Podcast with the Jason Lee Cluck Show. Thank you, as always, for being a part of the ride. Again, if you're brand new to the podcast, not safe for work, not safe for kids, probably not the terrestrial radio show that you're used to all the time. You'll catch on fairly quickly. Stay up to date all things JLNK by heading over to jlnkshow.com. Some of the fun things we're going to cover on the podcast today include, ladies, there's some little pieces of advice for you. You're wasting a lot of money and a lot of time on status symbols, thinking that, this will make me look good for the men's. The reality is, we don't care. We'll also look at some public sex people, and I came to a realization after one of these stories the other day, so maybe it's a heads up if you plan on making new friends this weekend and you would like them to do sex things with you out in public. And we've got we've got a New Jersey police chief who is in a lot of trouble. We'll get to that later on, though. Let's start right about here. One of our favorite words, cuckolding. It's a consonant-heavy word. It hits in all the right spots, right?
I think it was
cuckold.
like 5 or 6 years ago. Somebody first lobbed that word cuck, and you're like, oh!
Cuck is almost laughable, but cuckold. There's something very personal, you've crossed a boundary when you called someone a cuckold, right? I mean, it's like mom full name checking you.
Yep.
You know, cuck, you're like, cuck is like dude or man. Cuckolding is like someone using your full name, right? Cuckolding, the act of a married man watching his wife get plowed by other dudes.
Do you have to be married? Could you be a boyfriend, girlfriend, cuck situation?
I think so. It's funny because you never use the word like fucked. You always use plowed, railed,
destroyed.
Those are the words that are only appropriate in a cuckolding situation. Well, we also learned what hot wifing was. If the man is the cuckold, the wife is the hot wife. Hot wifing is a fun verb, right? What are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm just going out and doing a little hot wifing. You're like, damn, okay. Can I get in on something like that?
Right.
Now you can. There's a brand new app for married couples looking to branch out and hook up with others that like the cuckolding lifestyle.
I guess.
The hot wifing lifestyle. There, that sounds better. All right, the hot wifing lifestyle.
Hot wifing to me sounds like something fun that happens in a cul-de-sac.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, she's the neighborhood hot wife.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, that's awesome. She's very friendly. She's very nice. Maybe I can get a ride with her to pick up my car from the mechanic next time it's in the shop. The website is called Wifey. Wifey.
All right.
And now it's, you can now do your hot wifing thing on Wifey. Wifey will pair you everything from a male porn star. Something tells me you're going to end up on the internet with that.
Yes.
I would try to stay away from it, I think. Or it can even hook you up with multiple guys. All participants say that it's...
Well, I don't want her to find multiple guys.
When it comes to hot wifing and cuckolding, participants say it's making their marriages stronger. Yeah, I guess you learn to take a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You
know what? It's not so bad. Could be worse. The neighborhood could be railing my hot wife.
It does tend to make your exterior tougher when you know that you've been subjected to cuckolding.
I have suffered the slings and arrows of the cuck.
A couple by the name of Alex and Rebecca, they signed up for the Wifey app so that she could obviously, get railed by other dudes. Actually, he signed up more specifically because she wanted to get plowed by 2 dudes. Rebecca says, I think what this dynamic has brought to our relationship is just a whole other level of comfort and security. See, to me, this sounds uncomfortable. It sounds like it's the opposite of comfort.
Right.
So your wife is with other dudes.
Hey,
and
she's like, I'm great.
And watch.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm very uncomfortable with this.
Do I have to watch? Could I be like in the other room making a sandwich and watching Pat McAfee or something?
The security, that doesn't, this would make me insecure.
Yeah.
There's no comfort and security to this at all.
Does it have to happen in our bed?
Maybe it's comfort and security for her because she's like, I could get railed by other dudes and my husband won't leave. He'll just sit in that chair and watch. That would make me feel secure in my relationship. If he's not going to leave me for this, he's not going to leave me for anything.
I can do anything I want.
Right.
He'll
Another
totally
couple,
overlook my gambling problem.
Danielle and Richard arrange for Danielle, Dick's wife, to be with 5 dudes.
Wow.
While wearing her wedding dress. There seems to be something sacrilegious there, in my opinion.
Also, that seems like this guy wants the worst brunt he could possibly have
Well,
for it.
It's funny because we were talking about
The day that was dedicated to us and our love,
Right.
and forever in eternity, I want you to be soiled.
Right, and now everybody's throwing their DNA on this dress. Richard says this is going to strengthen our relationship, and I'm going to get some entertainment and adrenaline out of it. Oh, you'll get the fucking adrenaline, all right.
Yeah.
But we talked about it on the terrestrial show, and I'm not throwing out any spoilers here, but watching the 3rd season of White Lotus, and one of the girls propositions one of the guys, and then recounts this story that her husband had told her about childhood trauma, and then it now is his thing for him to watch his wife get, plowed by other dudes. And so the one guy, they're like, hey, we pick you. And he's like, no.
I feel like I'd be pretty honored if somebody picked me, like, hey, you there.
It's a
bench rider, you're in.
It's really funny because it's a fucked up story. It's a super fucked up story, and you feel weird because in your head, like we talked about on the radio show, my first thought in my head is, what kind of person am I that this is what I'm calling on for entertainment? But then I quickly erased that by thinking, who writes this shit? Who comes up with these scenarios?
Hey, somebody whose mind tended to wander.
Boy, does it wander, all right. Yeah, it's a weird scene, and you feel weird watching it. But thankfully, and I appreciate the guy that said, no, I don't know, no.
I'd be looking over, it's like, what does he think I'm doing all right? I hope I'm doing all right.
I feel like you're judging me. I feel like there's some judgment in the room.
Oh, yeah, yep.
All right, yeah, Wifey is the name of the app, by the way. This is something that you're into. All right.
Anthony does say, this all sounds like either wealthy couples who want to sleep around without the hassle of divorce and splitting up the wealth, or people who can't afford to separate so they mutually cheat.
No, because the other person has to be in there. This doesn't sound like people that want to be apart. Because remember, when you're doing it, the other person has to be in the room, right? I mean, to me, it seems like a special form of punishment.
Is there like a rule to this too? Like if he starts to do something that either you don't get to do, or that you're like, hey, come on.
It comes down to everything else. Communication. They always say communication. I assume in an instance like this, that even though you're the guy sitting in that chair in the hotel room watching your wife get taken apart by strangers,
why do you have to put it so violently?
you still go in with some ground rules. You're like, all right, fellas, and you got your whistle and you got your clipboard and you walk up and down and you're like, all right, fellas, here's what we're going to do out there on the field today. The field, though, is your wife's vagina. So, but I bet you lay down some rules.
Okay,
at least I would hope so.
Just be nice, please be kind.
Because I assume once...
No making eye contact with me, no looking back either, like...
Yeah, don't call me names.
No. You know what, just pretend that I'm not here.
First on the list, don't call me a pussy. All right.
Yeah, the Warren chair, right? And I don't know what it was. We lived our entire fucking lives until like the last 4 or 5 years without paying a second notice to the chair in the corner of a hotel room. Now, any hotel room I walk into, I'm like, there it is. Your eyes go, there it is.
I wonder what poor sad sack of son of a bitch had to sit in that thing.
Yep.
All right, ladies, what are the things you're wasting money on? Money and time and effort that guys don't care about. Here are the biggest status symbols that you're pissing all of this effort, energy, and money away on that guys don't care about. Basically, there's a pretty good chance you're only doing it to impress other women. Guys do not care about luxury handbags.
I'm not even sure I would recognize one.
Psychological research has found that luxury goods like handbags often serve as a means of self expression. Not only do women typically admire the brand they are purchasing from, but they appreciate the fact that the bags are made of higher quality workmanship. Guys don't care. Same thing could be said for designer shoes. They say being able to own and impress, being able to own a pair or several pairs of designer shoes to impress means more to a woman, and it means more to her to be walking around in cute and trendy footwear. It's a sign of success. But again, guys, don't care.
I don't come into contact with a lot of luxury footwear walking around Kroger in the gym.
One study found that in 2023, the women's shoe market, estimated $187 billion. Women invest their money in shoes because they view them as a major indicator of their style, status, and prestige. What does that say about my on clouds?
Your on clouds
Very little.
They're pretty nice.
By the way, on clouds, it's not the most comfortable shoe you've ever worn. Everybody points out and they're like, oh my God, it's the most comfortable shoe I've ever worn. It's not. It is not the most comfortable shoe I've ever worn by a long shot.
What's the most comfortable shoe you've ever worn?
It's not that. I don't know what brand it is. I got a pair of black shoes, like these weird black knit shoes. They're weird. My wife hates them. She doesn't like when I wear them out, but I love them.
That must mean they're excellent.
They're the most stinking comfortable shoe I've ever worn before. Things guys don't care about. You're wasting too much time. Premium brand makeup.
I imagine that's a difference that they notice, right?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
Like, I noticed there's a difference between that, like, really super cheap chapstick and then, like, the Burt's Bees.
The only thing I know about makeup is I know when you're wearing it. Otherwise, I don't know. If that makes any sense, and I shouldn't, basically I'm saying I shouldn't know you're wearing it because that means you've taken it over the top. If I don't notice it, then I guess you're doing great. I don't know.
Like,
But if I notice
maybe
some
from the Drew Carey show.
right, like if I see somebody, I'm like, ooh, hey, she's got makeup on. That typically means you've overdone it, and it looks obnoxious. Guys don't care about a fresh set of nails.
How often do you have to get that done?
I don't know. I have 3 daughters and a wife, so it seems like a lot.
Oh, yeah?
I will say this: one of my daughters went and had her nails done a couple of weeks ago, and she came back and they were tie-dye.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I had to admit, I said, all right, that's pretty stinking great. I don't know how they do it. I don't have any idea.
I know there's like a light you put them under and it gets them real hard or something. I don't know. I would make a shitty nail tech. Yeah, where's the hard light? Put it on.
Things guys don't care about that you're spending a lot of time and effort in: high-end skincare. Face washes, lotions, serums, toners, masks. Many men don't quite see the appeal, would rather spend and invest their money into other things. Growing popularity reflects a border conflict or a border cultural shift towards self-care and holistic health. That's supposed to be the reasoning behind all of that. And maybe you just don't want to end up on Dr. Pill Popper or Pimple Popper or whatever that fucking show is.
Oh, yeah.
You're wasting time and spending too much money because guys don't care. Fancy water bottles. Stanley cups. But first it was hydro flasks, and then it was Stanley cups.
I used to wonder, how the fuck are people using so many of these? And then I lost 2 of them, and I thought, that's how. You leave them places.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you could walk into any high school lost and found. And I bet there's thousands
Oh,
of them.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was hydro flask, it was Stanley cup, and now it's the Owala. Which, by the way, Owala makes a hell of a coffee cup. Their coffee cups are a step above everybody else's.
Oh, were you too good for the styrofoam AA cup?
You got my trembling little hand. Oh, I spilled it in my lap again. It burns.
Hey, it's the only way I feel alive anymore.
Styrofoam coffee nuts.
Yeah.
You're spending too much time, effort, energy, money on Aesthetic coffee orders. I don't know what that is.
Is that like having a special order of something you drink at Starbucks?
Ordering a carefully crafted latte or an aesthetically pleasing mocha is more than just a means of fueling up on caffeine. What? Is that the big fat cup that has the cool design in the top that they do with the foam? That's pretty sweet.
I remember when Starbucks first became a thing for all of us, and you just run through and order whatever you wanted. And then one day somebody stopped and said, "Hey, some of those are like 900 calories." Oh, I've had 2 today. Whoops.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I had to dial it back real hard.
Oh, this is definitely a female thing too. You think it's a big deal, but it's not. Matching luggage sets. Like your big suitcase also has to match your little carry-on suitcase.
Yeah, my wife wants us to get new luggage because one of the handles on it doesn't pull out all the way, and I thought, who cares? I'm the one who's pulling it through the airport. To me, if your luggage needs to be replaced, it's because it no longer stays closed and throws your,
Well, the vandals are getting after it.
throws your dailies all over the airport.
I just need the one big one, and then I need the backpack. That's it. I'm perfectly happy traveling anywhere in a backpack. I don't even want the luggage to go.
For the time I was 16 until my wife moved in with me, I had a Mountain Dew backpack that I bought with Pepsi points, and guess what that did? Got me everywhere in this world I wanted to go,
Yeah.
mayonnaise.
I don't know about this one too. This is
Suddenly she's like, "You're traveling to white trashistan with that backpack."
yeah, it's the only place I go. It's the
Yeah.
only place I vacation. I'll
Yeah.
go nowhere else. I don't know about this. Women are spending too much money, too much time on luxury pajamas.
What even is a luxury?
I think they're talking about those satiny pajamas.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
As soon as if you see some woman walk into the room and she got satiny pajamas on, the first thought that goes through your head, nipples.
Yep.
You see nipples every single time. When it comes to having something to sleep in, many women have no problem making sure that they have luxury silk pajamas. I guess it's silk, not satin.
It wasn't satin like that Valentine's
Sorry.
pillow from back in the day.
Just immediately, my thoughts go straight to nipples.
Fat.
They're comfortable, they're stylish, and they represent a commitment to elegance and redefine a style. I think they're right. I don't think you're wasting time, effort, energy, or money on those silk pajamas.
Like when I slide on those silk basketball shorts. Oh wait.
All right, here's the public sex, people. I came to a realization the other day when I pulled this story out for the podcast, and then I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to take a look at these people and see. What sort of people are we dealing with here? One, they're Florida people, so, they're going to be a little more feral than a regular person. Because Florida has that kind of anything goes vibe. If you want to stop and have sex in a cemetery, you stop and have sex in a cemetery. A man and a woman were caught doing the sex on a grave at a historic local cemetery in Florida. The cemetery, by the way, is a big deal. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. And I know we consider it to be disrespectful. And I don't know, maybe this puts us in the minority, but if you were dead and buried 6 feet under and someone was doing it in the grass above you, would you really consider that to be disrespectful?
No.
I'd almost want to put up a sign and say, hey, if you want to stop and do some sex, here's a good spot for you.
That's the most respectful thing that can be done on a grave. 2 people decide to fornicate, perhaps bring life.
Then again, it is rather cuckly.
Hey, I want to be cucked one last time.
Right? I guess I didn't think about that part.
Yep.
I hear you up there. I hear it. Police responded to the disturbance at the cemetery. They caught the couple in the act. During the incident, the man injured his leg. Oh,
Wow.
he must have tried running.
Slipped and fell.
Taken by ambulance to Dade City Hospital for treatment. Police confirmed they intend to request an arrest warrant against the dude due to the nature of the offense. I did pull up the mugshots of this couple.
And pretty hot.
And I think what I've come to the conclusion of is if she has a neck tattoo, I bet you could get her to do it in a cemetery. She has what I believe to be is a man's name tattooed on her neck. So
Was it the same name of the man who she was with?
I couldn't quite make it out.
Well, I
But
guess no. Although, wouldn't you feel pretty cool if you were neck tattoo worthy? Like some girl got your name tattooed on your neck. Like, wow.
that says to me that I have hand.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It seems like I could probably, break up with her like a high school relationship. I could break up with her, get back together again, break up with her, get back together again, break up, get back together with her.
Yeah.
I'm like,
She's always
fucking,
there.
you got my name.
She's always there for you. It's an easy back in.
Even no matter how bad you screw up and you break up and you go back to her, you just have to sell yourself like, aren't you tired of explaining to people that the guy you're with is not the guy that's tattooed on your neck? Wouldn't it be smart to just be with the guy whose name, so you could just say, yeah, I love Ronald.
Ronald.
Right.
That doesn't look cool tattooed anywhere.
Yeah.
Even on Ronald.
Yeah, I mean, people are already judging you because of the neck tattoo. And I wonder who the fucking Ronald clown is. And then she says, well, hi, have you met my boyfriend, Ronald? That's a very
Damn.
smooth, as opposed to, have you met my boyfriend, Steven?
Well, who's Ronald? If I'm Steven, all I'm thinking is I'm not measuring up to a neck tattoo Ronald.
Or if you're the boyfriend, if you're the new husband and your wife has Ronald tattooed on her neck, do you just change your name? Steven! It's Ronald now. It's Ronald. Fucking trying to keep up with the tat.
No matter what you're doing with Steven, Ronald's there on your neck watching.
Mm-hmm. I like this
All
guy.
comes back to cucking.
I like this guy's reaction. A couple, more public sex by the way, a couple was caught engaging in sex acts in broad daylight at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Ooh, getting after it.
Yeah, it was on Australia's Gold Coast. There's, I guess, a lagoon that's popular spot for families and tourists to stop and cool off for the day. There's pelican feeding. And public sex isn't allowed there. Like in most places, public sex is not allowed there.
I thought you were about to tell me where it is allowed. I was going to say, hey.
Witnesses, including families with young kids, were shocked when a couple was doing it at the lagoon.
No.
So you're the guy,
It's
and
the Blue Lagoon, but it's BLEW.
right, that's not what they were doing. I saw the videos. I looked it up too. I like to research my stories. I like to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You
So
wanted to see if they were heavies or not.
they weren't.
Oh.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They looked like they could do it.
I wouldn't look away.
It looked like they could do it in public and not be embarrassed by the videos on the internet.
All right.
Unfortunately, they were embarrassed by the videos on the internet. So let's pretend you're the guy. There's a girl. You are doing your thing and you're not paying attention, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, everybody's got a phone out. Everybody's recorded this. We're going to go on the internet. What's the first thing you do?
Tag me in your post, man!
Cover your face. No. This guy did the impossible. He then went person to person demanding that they hand over their phones.
And what, deleted the shit?
Either you give me the phone or you pay him.
Oh. That would give me the hand over my phone real quick.
Claiming that he does not perform for free. He became verbally abusive, prompting witnesses to run away to a nearby hotel. Onlookers are sharing their videos. I saw it.
Yeah.
And pictures with police because, of course, they recorded it. All right, we kind of touched on this guy's stories. We'll wrap up the podcast. We touched on this guy's story on the radio show the other day, and it is just fucking chaos. Imagine this workplace. New Jersey police chief is in trouble. The North Bergen Police Department in New Jersey, they have a chief by the name of Robert Farley. He was sworn in as the chief of police back in February of last year. He's the subject of a complaint from 5 officers who are planning to sue the township because of his alleged retaliation, discrimination, sexual misconduct, and harassment.
Nice.
The complaint...
Sounds like a handful.
Here's the workplace environment there at the police department in New Jersey. The complaint alleges a hostile work environment, including juvenile pranks, like putting firecrackers under chairs. Okay, harmless. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. To other acts bordering on criminal, like dosing the office coffee with Viagra and Adderall.
That is a wild combination.
That's obviously a line that's been crossed.
Yes.
Other borderline criminal offenses also include jabbing a needle into an officer's penis.
We've crossed the line to harmless pranks quite a while ago.
According to a special captain with administrative duties, he claims that Farley chased him around the office and then cornered him before sticking a hypodermic needle through his jeans into the tip of his penis.
Oh, got him.
Drawing blood.
That's not cool.
Other offenses, accusation against Farley, he would also shave and put his body hair on people and in their food.
How's this gonna? I mean, I know he was the boss, but how do you not get your ass kicked?
How long does this go on before somebody says, we're done? We're done here. Also, other accusations. Farley exposed himself, made inappropriate comments, and he shit on the floor, and he would shit in garbage cans.
This guy is all doing this stuff. This one dude.
This is over the course of like 12 months.
Even if a course of like 12 years, this is still a pretty decent clip. Sprinkling pubes everywhere.
Right. So every day when you arrive at work, it's bad. It's hard enough that you're a police officer. You're like, man, this day can bring anything. When you deal with the segment of society that we have to deal with every day, and I got to go out there on these streets, and I got to keep them clean, keep the bad people at bay. Shit, you're working in an office like this. You're like, I just want to get out on the streets. Get me out of this place.
I can't be back here filling out paperwork. I got to be out there.
State investigation is underway after Farley was reported.
What do you say if your boss jams a hypodermic needle in the tip of your dick?
I don't know.
Like, I'm going on break.
After 12 months, he was finally reported to the Attorney General, and they're looking into it. Unreal, man.
Jesus.
Yeah, most of the stuff I could tolerate. I'd be like, oh, you know, you just gotta be moving around, just being silly. But a needle in the dick and the turds in the garbage can, that's where I'm like, I can't work here anymore.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's the podcast for this week. Thank you so much for checking it out. Obviously, every Tuesday you get a new one. And don't forget, you can live stream it now, anytime. At JLNK Show on YouTube. And of course, stay up to date all things JLNK by heading over to jlnkshow.com. All right, see you next Tuesday.